and welcome to my Stitchy podcast, Vloggypod. I hope you're well, that you've had a good week and that you're enjoying summer. Properly feels like summer now. In the southwest we've had a lot of rain, but everything's growing like crazy in the garden, which is nice. And my buddleia is out now. I think it's called Black Night. It's a really, really dark purple, it's beautiful. And my lavender's just about to come out. So yeah, feels like summer is on the way. And the other thing is Wimbledon, because that for me is always a marker for summer. There's lots of things, and I'm sure you've got your own things that mean it's summer or it's autumn or winter. And for me, Wimbledon, which I'm loving this year, and I've got some people favourites that I would love to win, and others that I would prefer didn't win, but we'll see. And that also means you're opening your vintage midsummer boxes, and this probably won't go out till, I'm recording this on Tuesday. She says calculating it, the 5th of July. This probably won't go out till the next day. So you will be opening tomorrow, day 10, I think. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. And the other thing about Wimbledon is, we were up there a couple of weeks ago when visiting my son and daughter-in-law, and they're all sort of gearing up for it. And I remember we went for a walk when we were there, and we passed a couple of roads, and I'm sure that was the road that I parked on when I went up there, because I went up there many, many years ago. I've been there a few times, but I went with a lovely friend of mine called Ali, and I think of her every Wimbledon. She's an old school friend, and she got in touch with me yesterday. So I couldn't be happier. That's so lovely. And whether she was thinking of me more because of Wimbledon as well, I don't know. But we had such a lovely day. We drove up from Kent, which is where I lived then. And yeah, I managed to find somewhere to park before sat-nav or anything like that. So we had a map, probably a few arguments on the way getting there. But anyway, I digress. So yes, Wimbledon. I think I'm really enjoying that. That's lovely. But you know, we've already gone past the longest day, so I think just make the most of summer really, because before you know it'll be autumn. I mean, I love autumn, but anyway, so initial waffling over. I've been making a few little things that I wanted to show you. It's all sewy today, so very much sewing, and talk about the shop and just a general natter really. So first thing is I'll show you my little needle case. So I've been doing lots of slow stitching, which are particularly bad at actually showing. And I sat and made a little needle case, probably last weekend actually, weekend before maybe. Just made out of a vintage quilt and lined with some polka dot sari ribbon. And haven't finished it yet actually. I'm going to put some linen, I think, inside for the needles, because I have got, at the moment, probably about 10 different sewing projects going on in various different stages, different things, quilting, hand sewing, slow stitching. And I sort of take them around with me. I don't mean I walk around the house with 10 projects, but each one I will have a needle case and a little pin cushion and things like that, because that's what I do. So I can just pick it up and take the whole thing with me, and I've got the needles that I need for that project and all things like that. So that's what that's about. So really enjoyed it actually, really just sat there in the garden doing that. So nice. And I've actually got a beautiful wool blanket that I might cut up and do a few kits actually for making needle cases with. Or pin cushions would be nice as well. Anyway, that's the first thing. So the other thing I've been doing is continuing the Are Family Quilt, which I've been making for our new little grandson. He's 4.5 months old now. And actually that's gone slowly, but it's also gone really quickly, if that makes any sense. They actually came to stay. It was so lovely having a baby in the house. And we saw him sort of like 2 weeks on the trot, because they live in London. They're sort of a 3.5 hour drive from us. So we saw him these 2 weeks apart, and the change in that, in the week apart, the change in that week was quite surprising actually, where he's actually started reaching out for things now and putting them in his mouth and following things around with his eyes and, oh. But yeah, it does go so quickly. But I've been making a little bit more of his quilt, cot quilt, because he will be going in that very, very soon. I need to get a move on. And that's a little bear that I've done. So it's basically going, I'm making more animals than the pattern. It's the We Are Family. I'll put all the details below. And I think it's got 5 animals. I think I've said this before actually, but I'm going to put lots more on because I like them and I think he'll have great fun looking at them. And I'm enjoying making them, if I'm honest. I like putting faces on them, and I think it's important you enjoy what you're making. So that's the We Are Family quilt. And I think the others, as I've said before, I think I might do some just quilted squares. Enjoying that. And the other thing I've started, which I haven't brought with me, is some slow stitching. I'll try and put a picture or video on, but it's basically, I think I'm going to do a sort of lattice woven base. And then the idea is that I've got a little robin embroidery, which is the robin embroidery that I'm going to be stitching. I apologise for that. A few people have messaged me to say you were going to do a robin embroidery pattern. I am. But I'm going to stitch it again. I've stitched it a couple of times. And I might put that in the middle of the slow stitching. But I couldn't bring it in because it was all in bits. And that's sort of creamy colour backgrounds with sort of amethyst purple colour, which was just inspired by some lovely little bits of fabric that I picked up years and years ago. Fat quarters actually, and I just loved them. So that, and then some black and white. So that's my slow stitching. Oh, and the other thing that I'm doing, I was supposed to be doing this the weekend before last, and I never got around to it. I'm making some knickers. So I've made underwear before from this book. It's called The Secrets of Sewing Lingerie. It's by Katherine Shears and Laura Stanford. I think they're on Instagram actually, so I'll see if I can find their Instagram handle. I'll put it underneath. This is a lovely book. So I have made before a couple of things in here. I have made Pretty as a Picnic. And they're really, really simple. Years ago now. And the ones that I'm making this time, yeah, Pretty as a Picnic ones, they're really good instructions as well. It's quite easy to do if you've never done it before. Should you wish to make your own knickers. The ones I'm making, I've written it down here, so yeah. They're called Summer Snoozes. And they are French knickers, Summer Snoozes. Which I'm actually making to sleep in. And they're really nice, quite simple. The ones here, they suggest you embroider them. I'm not going to do that. So I've got either some cotton lawn in cream, and I might put, I've got a few of the little Honiton. I live quite close to a town called Honiton, which is famous for its lace. And if you had our mindfulness last year, you would have had some tiny little bits of lace, Honiton lace in there. So I've saved a few of those, and I might put that on, stitch it on, so it would look a little bit like embroidery, but it won't be. Or I might use this. I make a little camisole to match. So I've had this now for about 3 years, and I've been holding on to it, and it's so pretty. It's sorry about that. This is Swiss stock cotton that I bought a few years ago, and yeah, I might use that. So moving on. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful, and it's one of those things that I've been saving it and saving it. And so I might use that. But anyway, one of these things, or maybe both. I'm going to make some French knickers. But I do, and also you can also, there's got camisoles in there and anything. And it can be quite complicated. I haven't tried any of the really complicated ones, or very simple. Calm. So that's what I've been up to, or in the process of, or planning. And there is knitting trundling on in the background and bits of crochet, but nothing really much to show you. So I do apologise for that. I don't know what goes on in my brain that finds something funny, but it does. Anyway, so we had a big update to the shop this week. Lots of colourways, and they went in sweater quantities. So, and thank you if you bought something from the shop or had a look. And I know you liked lots of the colourways, and we will be re-dyeing some of them up, which I'll tell you about in a minute. The first one I was going to show you is Songbird, which, oh, it's a lovely colourway. And you did actually buy this in sweater quantities. You obviously thought, like I did, that would make such a pretty cardigan or jumper or shawl. And this has a bag that goes with it, the Songbird bag, but I can't show you any of the bags or box pouches because I don't actually physically have them, because they've been sent off to the customers that bought them. But I'll put some footage in here. But they are most of them available on the website, made to order. And Songbird and Pastoral, the other one that I'm going to show you, is in a beautiful linen. That's what triggered my giggles last week. I mean, no idea. So anyway, this is Songbird, and that has a box pouch and drawstring bag that just looks pretty with it. They look pretty together. And this is, we've also re-dyed quite a few of our colourways that either people have asked me for over the last year or so, or were some of our best sellers. So this is vintage porcelain, and it actually was very much inspired by a jug, which I'm looking for in my kitchen because I've normally got it here. I can't see it at the moment, maybe it's in the fridge. Oh no, it's right over there. I won't stop and get it. But it's actually the jug that's on here that Christopher drew and painted. And it's an old jug of my mum's, potentially was of my nan's, I don't know actually. But that's vintage porcelain, so it's blue, it's got that browny tinge to it for the vintage, and then there's a lovely brown mini to go with it. It's not brown, there's like chestnuts in there, and oh, it's lovely. 2 different colours of brown. So, sorry, I got distracted again there by my phone. Apparently all of our government ministers are jumping ship, deserting ship. Surprise, surprise. Now, the other colourways, so they're the first two. The other colourways, we've done some more colourways in our Wild Birds collection. So we have done Starling. This is on Stellina, Sparkly Stellina, and 2-ply sock. And if you look at Starlings, they're always scruffy, they're always squabbling, and there could be loads and loads of food, and they'll always argue and squabble over it. And they're always scrappy, but they are utterly beautiful birds, I think. So this has got sort of lovely royal blues and greens and grey blues and greys. It's, hopefully, you would agree, a really accurate depiction of the starling. So we've got starling on 2 bases. And then we have, which is a rather nice match with it, we've got swallow, which is really pretty. And we've got some swallows actually come back. We used to have swallows nesting in our eaves, which were lovely. And then we have got house sparrow, which goes beautifully with swallow. And again, we've got loads and loads of, well, actually, not so much this year. We had loads of sparrows just out here. Oh, all the time you would hear them. But of course, now we've got Tommy. He's, I think I said to you last time we got a dove a couple of weeks ago. And we have not been talking for a while. He's very quick. The dove got away, I should say, mainly because I went out there and told him off. And he sort of dropped it and came in looking very sheepish. And it did fly away again, so hopefully it's okay. The other colourway is Turtle Dove. And this is on Sparkly Selena and on 2-ply sock. And then we've also got it on Donegal sock and double knit. So that's Turtle Dove. So, and the 4 also are available together. We've got two packs of 4 in the shop. And then this one I'm showing you because it's Fairies of the Forest. And it's not new at all, but it's just so gorgeous. So we're actually, I think we have got a couple of those left, but we're going to be re-dyeing that one. Oh, it's so pretty. And then the other ones are, I've nearly finished, we've got, I'm going to have a quick drink of water. I've got water because I've run out of tea. Absolute catastrophe. And we have got some turning up, shopping turning up with tea in it, but no tea. Tea on the lawn, funny enough. Tea on the lawn, again, this was one that was from, I think actually not last year, the year before, which was one of our best sellers, Tea on the Lawn. And this one is Meadow Thistle, which again is another one from last year, as are all of these I'm showing you now. This is Carnations and Roses, which was inspired by William Morris design. And lastly, Grandma's Quilt, which we've done this time on our zebra base, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. So, hope you love them. This one's actually sold out, but we are going to be re-dyeing that one. Whew, that was a bit of a mammoth. Chat along. So the other thing is we've also updated the website to hopefully make it easier for you to find your way around and find the things you're looking for. And there is more work we're going to be doing on it, but hopefully it's easier for you to find things on there. So the Botanist Club, if you're collecting our Botanist Club, number 3, Daisies, is one of my favourite flowers, is going into the shop on Friday. So that's a set of 5 minis, and there will be the option to add on a little drawstring bag if you want to at a special price. And the other thing is the Untrodden Ways. I've been doing lots of gardening, growing lots of veg, which hopefully, I mean, I might have left it a bit late for some things, but hopefully we're going to get a harvest of quite a few things later on in the year, and I'm really, really, really enjoying that. And that's going to be in a new Untrodden Ways video, which we'll put together, hopefully, this week. And it actually is my birthday coming up, so we're probably going to take a day off for that. So, I don't know. We're hoping to have a video out later this week. And lastly, what I've been watching Sherwood with Leslie Manville. I'm not going to try and remember everyone in it because I won't. And it's a BBC One production, I think. And she was in The Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis, which I loved. And she is fantastic in that as well. So as ever, what have you been watching? Because that's nearly finished. I've got Stranger Things I should watch, but so I think people have been saying about Stranger Things that the last one is too scary, you know, it's a bit too frightening. I was like that at the beginning of the first series, so that I'm a long way back. It doesn't take very much to make me a little bit scared. I have to watch things in bite-sized chunks if I'm watching anything remotely scary. So Stranger Things is a possibility, but let me know what you've been watching. So anyway, again, I apologise because that was not the most restrained of podcasts, and I know I don't know what is going on with me at the moment. I just keep finding things funny. So anyway, sorry for that. Apologies for that, but have a good week and thank you for watching.